Welcome back to Cuthbert Cooks, or Cuthbert Cooks with Pirates. Had a little cataract done this afternoon or this morning, but I had to get back into finishing the terrines because we've been letting the meat marinate for just over 36 hours now. So I had to get myself out of hospital and then come down to finish this one off. So what we're going to do today, we're going to blend the veal and the chicken and all the herbs and everything that we had marinated off the other day. As you can see, got a bit of nice sunlight coming through again. The chicken livers, I've taken them out of the milk, so they've been soaking. We've got some extra veal bacon, which we're going to use to line our terrines. I picked up a couple of beautiful lava terrine moulds from my mates down at Resto Fair at the Cash and Carry at Arjun. Good old Raphael, I said, listen mate, I need a couple of beautiful terrine moulds, and he said, I've got the ones for you. So I picked those up this morning. My mate Mr. Bruce went down to get those for me while I was having my eye played around with old Dr. Mustafa. So we're going to do we're going to blend the meat. We're going to do a little bit at a time. Then we're going to add in a little bit of the veal. Then we're going to add in a bit of the cream, and then we're going to pop it all into one big old stainless steel bowl to give it a good old mix. And then once that's done, we're going to add in the pistachios, and we're going to add in our little dried cranberries. So without further ado, I've got a lovely little R201 Robot Coupe that we're going to use today. I could mince this, but I'm pretty confident the old Robot Coupe's going to get it to the consistency I want. You could put this through one shot in a mincer if you want, through a medium-sized blade, and then you could put it into the Robot Coupe. It'll just help the the Robot Coupe blend it up a bit. What I will do though, I'll just pick out a couple of the larger pieces of meat, and I'm going to get those chopped up. Now I haven't worked with one eye lately, so I just hope I don't cut my fingers off here. Just going to cut up these larger pieces into more manageable chunks. And remember, we said that we didn't want to cook this, so you'll see on the board that these are actually a little bit raw as well, which is exactly what we want. We're going to cook the terrines at about 180 to between 160 and 180 degrees in a water bath, in a bain-marie. And we're going to either check the internal temperature to see if it's cooked, or we do the good old-fashioned way, and when the juices are clear, then our terrines are cooked. So it'll take around 2 hours, slowly poaching in the bain-marie, and then we're going to be ready to press them, and then we're going to be able to eat them, which is a great thing. Yeah. So I've chopped that up. We've got a little bit of jus in there, if you remember. So I'm just going to take this over to the little Robot Coupe, get me bits and pieces ready. So I've got my Robot Coupe, I've got my chicken livers, and then I'm going to add a little bit of cream. Yeah. So the cream's just going to blend it all nicely together as well. So I just wash my hands off quickly. Keep my hands nice and clean. Got a simple bain-marie here, just a simple gastronome. Fits these terrine moulds lovely. Going to fill it up with a little bit of boiling water later. Slide it into the oven and let those. And we're going to let those terrines cook for a couple of hours in our oven. So here we go. So first we get the. We've got the blade in. Got our blade in. We're not going to overfill it. We don't want to stress the good old Robot Coupe. So we're going to do the mixture in little batches. And then what we also need to do, we're going to need to make sure it's evenly. We need to make sure that it's evenly blended. So that means we're going to have a little bit of a taste to make sure that the seasoning is consistent throughout. So we've got that there. Pop that in there. A little bit of an escaped onion. Gonna just wipe that down, keep that clean. So remember, we had some little red onions in there as well. So the good old Robot Coupe, as you can see, an R201, one of the smaller ones, ideal for the home. And then we're just going to pulse to get it going. I got the bowl cold as well. I want to keep the bowl cold. I don't want to heat it up too much. And that nice That's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. That's really, I'm just going to take that off. Just that little bit of, as you can see that little bit of pulsing on the Robot Coupe has already chopped up the meat. Now, you could actually stop here and pack this into the terrine molds to make a real chunky country style terrine if you want. But as we want a bit of a smooth one, we're going to pop him back on here. I'm going to add in another little bit, oops, I'm going to add in another little bit of our chicken and our veal bacon and our veal loin in there. Pop in another couple of livers. On with our lid again, another bit of a pulse. Now we're going to let him run. Cream, I'm just going to drizzle the cream in. I'm having a look at the mixture as it goes round. I want to get it to that consistency, that nice smooth consistency of pate. Yeah, I want to make sure everything's blending up nicely. And then when I add the cream in, I want to make sure that the mixture doesn't split. That's why we keep it nice and cold. So everything came out of the fridge. I had the bowl nice and cold. I got nice cold cream, and now we're just going to drizzle this in. And I'm just going to watch inside. And then you can hear it going around. It's whipping up into a nice consistency. Just turn that off for a minute. I give it one more blitz. And our first part of the mixture is ready. So I'll bring this back across to the big board. I'm going to pop it in this clear. I'm going to pop it in this clear bowl so you can see the colour that we want to achieve and the consistency. Take that out. Just watch your hands on the blade. This is super sharp. I mean, you've got to keep your blade sharp as well with your Robot Coupes. Yeah, so if you've got a good knife sharpener, if you know how to do it yourself, make sure you keep your knives and your blades nice and sharp. Just pop that there. And as you can see, the consistency of this is quite firm. Yeah. And I'll just leave that in the bowl so you can have a look at that while I get the other one ready. Now in the days we used to use saltpeter. It wasn't the name of a chef. Saltpeter is a little bit of magic salt mixture that would keep your terrines pink. So we pop this back on, lock him in, and then we're going to add in the rest of our, put in the rest of our mixture into our Robot Coupe. We're going to finish off the blending. Then we're going to mix it all together. I'm going to have a little bit of a taste because I want to make sure it's got enough seasoning in it. So it's nice and healthy. There's no harm eating a little bit that hasn't been cooked yet. Want to make sure I get all those flavours out of the pan. The garlic, the little bits of. We're going to pop all the. Because I've mixed quite a bit already of that. So there in goes the last of the mixture, the last of the chicken livers. Just give it a couple of pulses. On it goes again. In with the cream. Just grab another one. So the Robot Coupe's perfect. It's got the two entrances, yeah. So just popping in the cream down the back here, so the cream goes straight into the mixture, starts to blend. You know, it takes a little bit of practice, a little bit of you know, just knowing the terrine mixture and looking at the mixture to know when it's ready to come out of to be stopped, yeah, and how much cream you put in. The cream is just going to. The cream's going to allow the terrine to be nice and smooth, but also it'll give it a nice texture as well, yeah? Because this is a nice, You know, it is a smooth terrine. It's not a country style terrine with chunks. If we were doing a country style, then we'd want to be looking at doing just mincing the meat once, maybe once through a medium blade, then once through a fine blade, and just packing it into the terrine molds to get a lovely chunky country style looking pate. But we want something a bit smooth here. That's enough. As you can see, it's quite quick. Let's have a look if we've got our consistency correct. See, colour's the same. So it's just practice, young chefs. You know, the more you do it, the more experience you gain, the better it is. So now we unload the last of our mixture. Pop out our blade, and you can really smell the flavour coming through already. You can smell the orange coming up through the mixture. Really, really nice. Just pop that down there. Going to scrape out our bowl. Yeah. No waste. So far so good with the one eye. Just need to be parrot. Arr, a large ship, said the actress to the bishop. So there we got that one. We've scraped out the bowl. Get the last of the bits out there. Just clean off this one a little bit more. Save all that. Pop this one over in the sink. So there we have our mixture, ready to go. Last thing to add, our pistachios, which we peeled. So they're ready to go in. And our little sweetener, which is our cranberries. I'm going to quickly transfer this into a larger bowl just to give myself a little bit more mixing room. Just pop this, going to move my chopping board away. So now we're going to just want to transfer this into a bit of a larger stainless steel bowl. Got our little Robot Coupe in the back there. So it did a great job blending our terrine mixture for us. And hopefully we're going to have enough for 2 of these lovely lava terrine molds to fill up. But before we do that, we're going to finish our mixture. Pop all that over there. Clean up in the back there. We're going to pop our cream back in the fridge. Got a little bit left over. I used about 300 ml cream for this mixture. So 300 ml of a good L&V cream. That will be enough for the mixture itself. And when we come back in another episode, we'll actually look at doing some other terrine mixes, just using chicken and cream. Yeah, maybe using a bit of panada. So I'm just mixing up our beautiful terrine. You know, the smell is just gorgeous. In go the pistachios, all of them. They are going to give it texture and they're going to give it colour. Just mix them in. In we go with some of our cranberries. Now the cranberries, because they're dried, you've got to make sure you separate them or else you're going to have big chunks sitting in your terrine. We want to make sure that they're nicely dispersed through your terrine. So when you slice it, you're going to get a lovely mixture, lovely cross section of pistachios and a lovely cross section of some of this beautiful sweet, little bit sour cranberries. We mix that again, mix that around, mix that around, mix that around. Get that really worked in. So we distribute the pistachios. Now you could chop some cooked meats into this one, you know, some pressed meats. You could pop in some mushrooms if you wanted to. You know, it's really up to you as chefs to take it to the next level. Yeah, I just think this will work nicely because of the sourness of the cranberries. Yeah, and the see they're nicely distributed. You know, not sitting in great big clumps. So that's our mixture. I am going to taste this now. I just grabbed my little tasting fork here. Want to make sure the salt's right. So we just take a tiny little bit out. spot on. Winner, absolute winner. Another mix. So that's our terrine mix, done, ready. Gonna pop that in the fridge, be back. So here we go. So I've just popped the mixture in the fridge a bit. Now I got my beautiful cast iron enamel finished terrine molds. I love using these. They keep the heat, they cook evenly, they're absolutely fantastic. Now they are cast iron. I will put a touch of olive oil, because just to add another little bit of flavour. I'm going to brush that in, and then we're going to line the terrines. Yeah. Now terrines, you can line them with speck, yeah, pure fat. You can line them with veal rashers. Depending on the terrine, some people line them with, you can do pastry as well, of course, pâté en croûte. You can then line them out with, you can then line terrines out with vegetables as well, like a little bit of spinach, depending what you're doing, right? So a little bit of Savoy cabbage or spinach. So I've just lightly brushed that with a touch of olive oil. Yep. We do have quite a bit of fat on these already, and then we just line the terrine. Yeah, I start with the edges first. Start with this way first. I'll just move this out of the way. Can you see that, cameraman code? And then we have one on the end here, another one on the end, overlapping a little bit, and then we have coming up as well. And we just overlap them, and this is going to give a lovely little outer casing for our terrine. And then what we could also do, once it's cooked, we could brush it with a bit of maple syrup or a little bit of date syrup, and we could actually give the whole terrine another little blast in the oven just to crisp with this. And then we're going to get that nicely overlapping, so it goes all the way to the bottom as well. Don't want them piled on top of each other. You need to just space them out nicely. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about gloves and all that sort of stuff again at the moment. You know, I don't like wearing gloves. You know, I keep my hands clean. I wash my hands all the time. You know, if you wear gloves, it's good to, you know, it's good in some of the messy jobs that you have to do around the kitchen. But wearing gloves all the time, I'd rather just have a good hygiene practice of washing my hands. Right, I'll grab my terrine mixture. Right, that's just come out of the fridge, pop the lid over here. Right, here we go. Now we're going to pop that straight in. Now if you wanted to, you could actually get a couple of pieces of smoked duck breast, cut them lengthways, hot smoked, that they're already cooked, and you can actually just pop them in there as well, down the middle, in the middle of your mixture, and that would give you a nice little centre garnish. Yeah. As I was saying earlier, it's really up to you and your creativity, young chefs, of what you do to take your terrine to the next level. I'm going to have to adjust my glasses here because I can't see properly with one eye. Pirate vision. So I'm going to fill this up quite a lot because it will shrink. Yeah, so I want to make sure that I allow for shrinkage. It's about half the mixture I've managed to get into this one pan. We're going to give him a little tap because we want to get the air bubbles out. Yeah, just knock the terrine mold. Just helps getting out the bubbles, and then very straight, very easy. Fold, fold, fold. Beauty. Fold them over. So the veal bacon has made a beautiful little cover ready to go. Yeah. So it's wrapped it up nicely. We get our lid. We pop our lid on. and that's going to be popped into the bain-marie in a minute. So I'll quickly do the other one while we're here. Again, same technique, a little bit of Rama, bit of our Rama olive oil, in it goes. Just gives it a little bit of flavour, a little extra. Off we go. A little bit of a brush him on the sides. Even though it is cast iron and it's enamel on the outside, but just get some flavour, don't be shy. And then again, same thing. We start to line the terrine mould and we start to separate our little rashers. We start at the ends again, start at the ends, and then we're going to fill up the terrine mould, and then we're going to have that covered as well. So we've just topped up the last one, we've filled him up, lid goes on, again, lid goes on, ready to cook. Bain-marie, Marie's bath, we're going to pop these inside. We pop these in. Once they're in the oven, I'm going to put the oven on around 160 to 180, about 2 hours, 2.5 hours. I'm going to keep checking to look at the juice colour. I'll pop me a little thermometer in. These are great, these little lava stone ones. They've got a little hole in here so you can pop your thermometer down in there. Of course it acts as a chimney, but can also help. I'm going to fill the water up 3/4 of the way, covering the terrine moulds. I'm going to use hot water when I put it in, but so I don't burn myself and splash water everywhere. I'm going to get the oven going first. I'm then going to pop these into the oven, and then I'm going to pour the water into the pan, and then I'm going to swing it round, close the door, and go and have a sit down, rest my eye a little bit. Once they're cooked, we'll be back to have a look. Cuthbert cooks with the Pirates and Robot Coupe. So we're back, pirate cooking. We've just taken our terrines out of the oven, and I'm just going to show you one of them, because as we bring them out of the bain-marie, we want to lift them out gently. We're just going to pop them down on the stove. We're going to keep the juice that's come nice and clear. As you can see, it's coming out nicely. The terrine hasn't shrunk, which I'm really happy about. The internal temperature is just over about 74, 75, so that's perfect. The juices are running clear. And what we're going to do with this now, we're going to let it rest, chill down. Now sometimes we would actually press your terrine. You could actually press it with a little board over the terrine, a 1 kilo weight, so you press it to firm it up. We're going to leave this in the mould overnight and then in the fridge, and then tomorrow in the maybe in about 24 hours we're going to come back, turn him out, slice him and taste. See you then. Here we are back again in our Basha 2, Cuthbert cooks. No pirate look on today, both eyes wide open. So all good, went down to the dock, he's happy. So I've got my left eye cherry is now all okay. So here we are, we've had our terrine in the fridge overnight. Yeah, now I didn't press it, as you can see it hasn't shrunk at all. Now to get it out of the mould, I'm just going to dip this into a bit of hot water, just helps to get the fat off it. So I go over to my little sink, just going to pop it in the sink. Got some nice hot water in the sink. Going to just melt down the fat around the sides just to help loosen it off. Then with a wee knife, just around the edges, just to make sure it comes away from the side of the terrine mould, this lovely lava mould that I got down from Rest of Fair from my mate Raphael. And let's see if this is going to work. So here we go. Then we just tip him out onto the board, dry the bottom of that off. Et voila. Hey, look at that. Nicely came out. Looks good. And now the proof is in the pudding, as they say. So we're going to flip that over. You can see the rashers, the bacon has stayed on nicely. kept a nice coating. Now if we wanted to, we could just drizzle this with honey or maple syrup or a little bit of date syrup, shove him back in the oven to get a little crunchy and crispy. But we're not going to do that because I'm hungry and I want to have my lunch. So all we do, we're just going to take a nice serrated knife, cut him in half, and let's have a look at what we've got. There we are, beautiful. We can see the pate's cooked, the terrines cooked nicely. We've got little cross section of our pistachio nuts and some beautiful little cranberries there. I'm going to let cameraman Code zoom in on that one while I go and get me toast, because I do like toast. Now toast needs to be brown, yeah, needs to be toasted. Toast shouldn't look like a piece of bread that's been waved at a rainforest, yeah? We've got to toast our bread to get it nice and toasted. I'm going to use a little wholemeal bread here. You can use Melba toast, which is a white bread, which is traditionally used for serving terrines. You can use brioche. Just use some normal brown bread, put a bit of butter on it if you like, and then serve it with something that's a little sweet. So I've got a little fig jam here, but you could use quince, you could use whatever. So I'm going to cut a couple of slices. Let's see how it slices. Just gently down. Got a little bit of, lovely little bit of orange peel coming through there as well. Another slice, 2 per person. Just slice carefully because it is delicate. Yeah, we don't want to destroy our beautiful work. So we just lift this one off. You've got to be careful when you come down around the cranberries. Pop that on. Move this to the side. Just lift this one off over here. I've got my other board underneath. We'll be a bit fancy. We'll take the crusts off. Take the crusts off nicely. Trim them off. Dry them out. Pop them aside. Dry them, and then grind them up in your Robot Coupe. Instant breadcrumbs. Yeah. And then we cut our toast. Little triangles. A couple of bits of toast on there. And then we get our little bit of fig jam. We want to make a little quenelle with that. Let's see if we can make a quenelle after all these years. There we go, lovely. A little bit of water in there just to help slide the fig off. Pop that on there. What you can do also, serve a little bit of lettuce with it. A beautiful little frisee with a finely shaved fennel on top of this one. Be wonderful. Well, chefs, there we have it. A beautiful country style or a smooth pate, not a country style because it's nice and smooth. Pistachios and cranberries made with veal and chicken. We've added some veal bacon in there to give it a bit more fat. We finish it with cream. Blitzed it up in our good old Robot Coupe, in our R201, sorry, the R201 we used to blend the mixture together. Poured in the cream gently, poached him off in a bain-marie in our beautiful lava terrine molds. Chilled him down overnight, got him sliced, and now do this, and we'll just see how it all works out. So we put that here, and we, oh, fantastic. See you next time, guys.